Reconstruction of a region. Danville, Virginia is a city much like other cities found in rural America. Located along the Virginia-North Carolina border, this Piedmont region has faced both economic highs and lows within the past 150 years. Rich in history, a drive around town makes visible the heritage built on the back of two major industries, tobacco and textiles. After the Civil War, Danville rode the late 19th century tobacco and textile boom to become one of the richest cities in the South. You can still feel echoes of the city's former wealth as you stroll down Main Street, past the ornate Victorian and Edwardian mansions of Millionaires Row. And just as surely as those industries stamped Danville's architecture, they also shaped the city's culture, for good and for bad. Tobacco played a major role in Danville's past. The town became a worldwide leader in tobacco production when it became the site for Virginia's first tobacco warehouse. By the turn of the 19th century, Danville's population had almost tripled, due in large part to the tobacco industry. It is important to note that a large portion of the population explosion is found among sharecroppers relocating to work on tobacco farms for low wages, and slaves that had been acquired by landowners for the express purpose of tobacco production. More than 100 years since the Danville Tobacco Association was founded, growers have sold almost 85 billion pounds of tobacco in Danville, with growers taking home approximately 1.6 billion for their work. But if tobacco was an economic artery for Danville, Dan River Mills was the city's economic heart, especially in the 20th century. Started by area entrepreneurs, Dan River Mills dominated Danville's riverfront. By 1942, the company operated more than a dozen mills, which lined the river from one bridge to the next. The mills employed 14,000 low-wage, low-skilled, mostly white workers in a town of 40,000. Everyone was connected to the mill in one way or another. In the 1990s and early in the 2000s, however, the industry collapsed, hit by a surge of imports from Latin America and Asia. After steady declines in employment levels in the 1980s and the 1990s, and reorganizing after declaring Chapter 11 in the early 2000s, an international firm bought Dan River Mills in 2006, subsequently closing the main mill and moving all remaining jobs overseas. The collapse of these two industries left the Dan River region floundering. Residents had grown up to believe that their future was tied to the success of either tobacco or textiles. With one gone and the other in decline, this left many people wondering, who are we and what happens now? A mill mentality had enveloped Danville for over a century. Instead of thinking independently and organizing for change, residents had depended on the management of major industry to direct their path. This path led to wages that for many years were way below state and national averages. These low-skilled, low-wage jobs shaped this region not only economically but culturally as well. Let's take a look at how the loss of industry impacted the unemployment rate of Danville. This chart shows unemployment rate of Danville compared to the same numbers in Virginia and the entire United States. As you can see, in 2004 and in 2005, the area lost over 3,000 jobs alone as several industries, including the mill, closed their doors. Right now in 2014, the unemployment rate for Danville is currently at 7.8%. The median household income is $29,553, and less than 50% of the population of the city of Danville continues their education beyond high school. While Virginia has been one of the fastest growing states in the U.S. from 4 million in 1970 to 8 million in 2010, today the Dan River region's population is about the same as it was in 1970, after peaking in 1990. So when the old system no longer works, a region is faced with a dilemma: to change or to die. But who will lead that change? This is the challenge the Danville Regional Foundation was created to address. Lead by example and to push the community beyond its comfort zone when necessary. The biggest obstacle to overcome is the community's view of itself, a place with an identity that is stuck in the past. Residents that have difficulty seeing the future because change is so great and the economic obstacles, some would say, are too steep to climb. But with the help of MDC and a new generation of leaders that believe in the Dan River region, the future is here and change is now.